Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Valerie, in case anybody is new. I am not necessarily back officially to YouTube posting consistently or anything, but I just wanted to pop on and share with you guys my birth story, a couple things I've been loving this postpartum season here and stuff like that. I'm so excited to share this video with you guys. It's been one that I've been so excited to talk about. I love to hear everybody else's stories, and so that's why I'm sharing mine in case anybody else out there likes this kind of thing, hearing people's birth stories and stuff like that. But really quick, before I get into my birth story, I wanted to share a couple products that I've been really liking this postpartum season, and I'm happy to be working again with Mom Cozy for today's video, and these postpartum products are actually from them. I had recently done a video with them showing you guys doing an unboxing sort of with these products, and then after I have the baby I'm doing a review of the products that I used, what I liked, and if just an honest review of their stuff. So I'm going to share a little bit about that. So their postpartum recovery kit came with quite a few different things, but some of the things I already had, some of them I had never tried before. And there are 3 things specifically that I used. And okay, I'm gonna just preface really quick, I did not need to use nearly everything in the kit because my recovery has been so much better than last time, and I will get into that in my birth story obviously too. But so there are actually only 3 things out of the whole kit that I used religiously and really loved. But had I needed the other things, I have no doubt about that they would have done amazing as well. But the first thing that I used that I really liked was this Peri bottle. Now this one is huge. I mean, it doesn't look that big on video maybe, but it's a lot bigger than the Freedom Mom, I think is what it's called. That's the other one I had. So I actually have 2 of these now, and I use this one a lot because I liked having one in the shower, and I liked having one next to in my basket of my postpartum essentials stuff. But it was just nice to be able to have one in the shower and one out of the shower. That way, I don't have to go back and forth with it. So I definitely use this. If you hear any baby grunts and squeaks, it's because Robbie's laying here on the couch next to me. Anyway, so the Peri bottle comes out like this. You fill it with water, and then it's got this pointed end so that you can spray in any direction. Whoops, there's a tiny bit of water in there. It's got, I think, 14 little tiny holes here, and you can just clean with it, and it works amazing. I really liked this one, and the design is so nice. I like that it's not a bright flashy color. The Freedom Mom one is bright pink, but I really liked this matte sage color. It's super pretty. I mean, as pretty as a Peri bottle can be, right? The second thing that I used a lot was this herbal perennial cooling spray, and my favorite feature about this is that this little spout is it can go 360, so you can literally spray in whatever angle you need to, and it's amazing. And it kind of gives it's a cooling spray, so it gives a really cooling sensation. It's just amazing. Trust me, this stuff was so nice. I've used other perennial sprays, but none of them gave me the actual cooling effect like this one has, and plus I really liked that this can just be sprayed in any direction. It's a very cool feature. And then the other thing I used were these herbal perennial cooling pad liners. They kind of gave the same cooling effect, but what I really liked about these, they're very similar to Tux pads in that they're really cold, but Tux pads are just little circles. These pad liners are literally just a long strip, and you just lay them in, and it doesn't take near as much time, which I just really liked so much better. With having a toddler, I'm trying to do everything as quick and efficient as I can. But those were the 3 things that I actually used from them. Absolutely loved them. I was fully intending to use their, I can't even remember what they're called. It's you put them in the fridge and make them cold, and then there's a sleeve you put them in. It's kind of just a padsicle type of thing. And I actually didn't tear it all in this delivery, so I didn't really need that kind of stuff. So these sufficed just fine, and I loved them. All right, had to pick up the baby because he's getting a little bit fussy. He just ate, and I am off of dairy and stuff like that, but I still sometimes wonder if he doesn't get a little bit of a stomach ache. And the other thing I wanted to mention about the pad liners and the perennial spray is that they're made from 99% pure natural ingredients, which I just thought was so nice. And then this whole kit can be purchased on Amazon, and I will post the link to buy it down below, and I also have a coupon code for you guys, which is so nice because this would be a fantastic gift for like a new mom or for yourself if postpartum is in your near future. But you can use the code valeriekime and you will get 20% off of your order, which is just amazing. So I will have everything linked in the description box for you and with my code and everything, so you don't have to try to remember it here. But I just wanted to say thank you again to Mom Cozy for sponsoring today's video. I appreciate it so much. They have been an amazing company to work with. They've been super nice. Any questions that I have about anything, they've just been very nice, and so I would definitely recommend them to buy from them. So moving on to little Robbie James' birth story. This is Robbie. He is like wide awake right now. You guys, I cannot believe how much hair this child has. Like, I've been able to spike it since day one. He's honestly so picky about when he takes a pacifier. He will take one and he does really good with it. Hasn't caused any nipple confusion or anything like that, but he doesn't always want to take it. And so I can't just count on a pacifier to help soothe him. I don't know, I feel like he's definitely coming around to it, but he definitely doesn't love it as much as Mateo did from the start. You know what, I think he messed his diaper. I'm gonna have to go change his diaper before I get into this. Okay, we're back. He seems to be a little bit happier now that I changed his diaper, but I'm trying to decide where to start with this birth story. I took all these notes on my phone so I know, but like it just still sometimes feels like, where do I even start? I'm gonna start at my 38-week mark. So 38 weeks, I went in for my appointment and my midwife said, I can check you if you want me to. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? She checked me and she can't do a membrane sweep obviously until like 39 weeks. So we didn't do that, but she checked me and I was 3 centimeters and 60% effaced at 38 weeks. And I was literally just shocked like to no end, because at 41 weeks with Mateo, I was like 1 centimeter. I hadn't made any progress really in like the last weeks, and I stayed at like a 1 for ages. And this time I was like, how in the world? I'm this much more dilated. Maybe I'll go by my due date, maybe even a little early. And I don't know why I let myself think that. In some ways I'm like, I should have just not gotten checked at 38 weeks, because since I knew that I was at a 3 for the last 2 weeks, it just felt like those last 2 weeks it felt like I was overdue, even though I wasn't, because it just felt like, well, labor should be starting any minute, and it just wasn't. So it was very annoying, to say the least. Then at 39 weeks I went back in and I was still the same, 3 centimeters and 60% effaced. She did a membrane sweep that day and it didn't do anything. Like, I thought it was going to do something because I had like bloody show and all of that stuff, and I was like, I didn't have that with Mateo at my membrane sweep. So I was very hopeful that something was going to be happening, and it just didn't. So my midwife told me, she said that June is really busy for her with babies. She said, hopefully you'll go into labor on your own. She said, but if you want to start thinking about when you would want an induction date, let me know, because that way I can for sure get that date for you at the hospital. She said it can be as soon as you want or as late as you want. She's like, it doesn't matter to her. She didn't pressure me in any way, shape, or form to even get induced at all. She just said, if there is a date that you'd want to be induced, you need to let me know. That way I can for sure get it for you. Okay, I put him in the swing to chill a little bit. So my due date was on June 11th. My due date came and went. I did not go into labor. And we decided, well, since if we're gonna be picking an induction date, we might as well pick a day that's going to work well with Chip's schedule, like work schedule. And I know that that doesn't really matter, but we were like, as long as we're allowed to pick, why not? Why wouldn't we just do that? And I really did not have a desire to go 2 weeks overdue. So my due date was 11th on a Sunday, and so we decided we're gonna plan an induction for that following Thursday, so that hopefully I would have the baby on Thursday and Chip could have that whole weekend, and it wouldn't interfere with, he wouldn't have to miss too much work, Monday and Tuesday maybe. So that's what we decided. We had an induction scheduled for June 15th on a Thursday. And I was like, but I'm pretty sure I'll go into labor before then. But just because of the way my body was acting, I was just pretty positive I would. But then as the days went by and I didn't go into labor, all of a sudden I just got this feeling like, you know what? I honestly think I would go just as late if as I did with Mateo. Maybe a little bit earlier, I don't know, but I just I had this feeling I was not going to go into labor before then. So actually we were supposed to go in on the 15th, like at 6:30 in the morning, and then the night before my midwife called me and she said, I am so sorry. She said, there are ladies that have gone into labor and that are in here. There's women that are being induced for medical reasons, and there's a woman coming in for a C-section, and so they literally did not have enough staff to take me yet because I wasn't being induced for a medical reason, so obviously they had to take those ladies first. Totally understood that. And plus I was like, you know what, that's fine. We pushed it out to Saturday, and I was like, that is fine, honestly, because maybe it'll give my body a bit more of a chance to go into labor. I did not go into labor on my own. I was so, yeah, you know how that, if anyone out there has been overdue, you know that it just, every day feels like a year. So count yourself very lucky if you go early or by your due date, because I am not one of those women. And you truly don't really know what it's like until you go through it. It's just not fun. Anyway, so Saturday the 17th came around and our induction was able to still be scheduled. We went in that Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. and just by the time we got in there and I didn't even have to register. My midwife registered me and everything, but even though I didn't have to do that, they still didn't give me my first dose of Cytotec until like 8:15. I'm not sure why they waited so long. Like, why couldn't I just get in there, get in my room and get the first dose? I'm not sure why, but there was a lot of paperwork I had to do, and I was just like, why am I doing this? I don't remember having to do it with Mateo. But so the way Cytotec works is there's 4 doses and they insert it, and it's every 4 hours you get another dose. And with Mateo, I didn't go into labor until after like the 4th dose, and this time I was like, hopefully I go into labor a little bit sooner. I would really love to have the baby like the same day I'm induced. So then at 8:15 she came in. They gave the first dose of Cytotec and she checked me, and I was 4 centimeters and 70% effaced. So I definitely had made progress since my membrane sweep at the office, but didn't do enough to put me into labor actually. And then before she placed the Cytotec, she actually did another membrane sweep just to like see, like just to help things go faster, I guess. And guys, I feel like this story is going to be fairly short because there's really not much to tell. I'm just looking at my notes and I'm like already like basically almost at the end of my notes, and I'm not even in labor yet. So that was at 8:15 that she gave me that, and then around 8:45 I started to feel crampy. Like I had been having Braxton Hicks this whole time. And I forgot to mention actually, like around 38 weeks, I was actually having contractions, and some of them were fairly regular. I felt more like I was gonna go into labor at 38 weeks than I did at 40 weeks. It was very weird, but I was definitely having contractions at 38 weeks. 8:45, I started to actually feel more crampy, and like I could definitely feel them, but my pain level was still like at a 2, I would say. It was just extremely manageable at that point. So I just kind of did some exercises that they gave me. I did some walking. I used their birth ball and things like that. I was like, I would just be so excited if my water would just break like it did with Mateo. That would be amazing, and it'd be so exciting, and the adrenaline rush in that movie moment, it's so fun. So then around 12:15, which would have been 4 hours later, so around 12, she came back in. I hadn't gone into labor, like I was in the early stages of labor, I guess, but nothing crazy. Feeling a little bit crampy, and she came in and she checked me again, and I was at a 6 and I was 80% effaced, and I was just like baffled because I was like, how am I at a 6 and not in active labor? It felt so backwards to me because I was like, with Mateo, when I was at a 4, I was feeling like I had to push because he was so low, and I was like, how am I at a 6 and not even having, and I'm having pain level 2 contractions? How is this possible? And she said, I'll tell you what, she said, she's like, we've got 2 options here. You can either do your second dose of Cytotec, or I can just break your water for you, because I feel like if we do that, it would go super fast. And she said, that way you don't have to have more Cytotec than you need. And so that's what we opted to do. I was so nervous for some reason to have my water broke, and I told her that, I asked her, is it gonna hurt? And I was like, I feel so stupid asking that because I'm literally about to have a baby, but I'm asking if it's gonna hurt to have my water broke. And she just laughed and she's like, no, it does not hurt. And fortunately, it did not hurt one bit. So, and I'm definitely very glad we opted to do that. So it was less Cytotec for me, and it definitely made things go fast. She broke my water at 12, and pretty much fairly soon after that, I really don't know how soon after that it was. I just know that by 1:30 things were really intense. I know that. But basically she broke my water at 12 and Robbie was born at 2:04. So I only had 2 hours, actually probably a little less, of active labor because I didn't. Chip said he remembers looking at the clock at 1:30 and thinking it's pretty bad. I started feeling really pushy kind of early on, or like, I say early on, but like I told the nurse like I feel really pushy, and she was like, do you want me to call Crystal, your midwife, and get her in here? And I just didn't know what to say because I was like, there's just no way that I'm ready to push yet. Like I don't know. I never actually told her, yes, call Crystal. She did it on her own, I guess just kind of based off of how I was and what she was perceiving. Because I never actually told her to call Crystal. She just did that on her own, and I'm so glad she did, because pretty much Crystal came in and like just the baby came out, pretty much is what it felt like. But what's actually crazy, I always thought that like with Mateo, I was in the tub for a lot of my labor, and this time I didn't get in the tub one time. Like I thought about it. For one thing, I didn't actually have a tub. I had a shower with a seat in it, and for some reason I just didn't really feel like getting into the shower, which is just kind of funny to me because I just always thought that I am one of those people that wants to be in the water. I actually spent most of the time, like my whole labor and stuff, over the birth ball. And then literally by the time I got onto the bed, the baby was crowning, and I was like, it was horrible. That's like the worst part for me. And I remember thinking, like, when things were pretty bad, well, maybe I should get an epidural. Maybe I should just get the epidural. This is awful. And clearly there would have been no time to get an epidural at all. Crystal came in, and I just vaguely remember hearing her say, like, I thought I had time to at least use the bathroom. And she didn't even get to go do that. And she just came in, I had the baby, and Chip would be very proud to tell you that he actually caught Robbie when he came out. And so yeah, he's very proud about the fact that he was able to catch him. And Crystal asked him, do you want to catch him? And yep, and it just happened. So it was a pretty incredible experience. In some ways it was a lot different than Mateo's, in other ways it was a lot the same. Like both of my labors were very quick. Mateo's was 3 hours, his was like 2 hours. But the main thing that I just felt was like it was so different to me was just I wasn't in the water. That aspect was super different and just not at all what I was expecting. And the other thing I wasn't expecting was that Robbie weighed literally 9 pounds and 9 pounds and like 2 ounces, rounded up to 2 ounces. He's like 9.17, so I don't know, is that 9.1 or 9.2? I think it's probably just 9.2. So he weighed, like, he was huge. I just was expecting him to be smaller than Mateo, because when I went in to get induced, the nurse looked at my stomach and asked what Mateo weighed, and I said he was 8'12", so he was pretty big. She's like, oh yeah, you don't look like you're gonna have an 8'12" baby. Your stomach doesn't look that big. And it was just weird. I just could not believe that he was so huge. But the crazy thing is, I did not tear at all this time, which has honestly just been the absolute biggest blessing of my life. With Mateo, I had stitches, and the recovery was just so much worse the first time around, but this time, I'm telling you, it has just been a night and day difference. She did tell me I had like several scratches down there. I don't even know how that's possible, but like Robbie had scratches and some bruising on his face when he was born, just because of how fast he came, and somehow I had scratches down there. I don't even know what that would be from, but whatever. Having stitches to not having stitches has just been like phenomenal. And Crystal told me, she's like, Valerie, you know, you didn't tear. You're probably gonna feel pretty good fairly soon on, but she said, just keep in mind, it's gonna be very easy to overdo it. She said, do not overdo it. Like, you still have to take it easy. Like, your stomach has this wound inside that is healing, and if it was on the outside and we could see it, we would definitely be like, oh my word, you need to sit down. But she said, because we can't see it, it's just so easy to like get back to our regular lives and overdo it. And like, I can tell definitely when I overdo it. Today is actually my first day by myself with both boys. Mateo is taking a nap right now. I've been lifting Mateo and doing a lot of stuff today, just like, I've been trying not to just be too aggressive or anything, but I definitely can feel it in my stomach. Like, it feels like my stomach muscles are super sore, and yeah. So I'm trying to give myself grace where grace is due. And yeah, Robbie has honestly been a pretty good baby. He's maybe a little bit fussier in the evenings than what Mateo was, but he's not really colicky but I can tell sometimes I think he's got a little bit of a stomach ache. So I am off dairy right now just to see if that helps, and it has helped a little bit. He just had been, at the beginning, he just wanted to cluster feed the whole time, and as soon as I stopped eating dairy, he stopped cluster feeding. So I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. We'll just have to see. But yeah, honestly, we've all been doing good. Mateo is so sweet to the baby. Like, he's the sweetest big brother, but in general he's just really been struggling. Like, I think it's mainly because he doesn't get Chip and I's full attention like he used to, which of course it's just the way it is. And so my heart literally just breaks when I see him going through like such a big life change that he maybe doesn't fully understand yet. I don't know, it just makes me feel so sorry for him. But at the same time, I'm like, I would feel more sorry for him if he didn't have a sibling. And yeah, I can't wait till kind of the initial transition is over. And yeah, his main thing is he's been like throwing himself on the floor, throwing fits and things like that. Like one day, literally, he walked around the corner, saw me, I picked up Robbie, he saw me holding Robbie, and he immediately just flopped on the floor and started crying. And I'm just like, and the hardest thing probably this postpartum has not, like, just the fact that I haven't been able to lift him very much. He is a heavy little guy, and my weight limit was 20 pounds. Like, don't lift anything heavier than 20 pounds until you feel like you're ready. And yeah, he's definitely over 20 pounds. So that's been really hard for me. Honestly, I felt very emotional about it the first week. It's gotten better for sure, but yeah, I didn't anticipate it to be such an emotional journey for me. Like, just seeing him become a big brother and just, I don't know, it just felt like, how am I gonna love another little boy the same way I love him? And Chip was like, Babe, you're gonna love them differently. They're different people, literally. So you don't expect yourself to love them the same way. You're gonna love them in different ways for different things. And yeah, and that made sense to me. So anyway, I feel like I have been filming for like 45 minutes, and I think I'm going to spend the rest of Mateo's nap just snuggling the baby, and I'm gonna eat a snack because I'm starving, and we'll go from there. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing my birth story. I feel like there wasn't just much to tell because it was so fast, but yet here I am talking for like 25 plus minutes. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you again to Mom Cozy for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check out the link in the description box. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you so wish. I would love that. And I wanted to thank you all so much for your prayers. It has meant so much to me and Chip, and yeah, we definitely felt it. God answered so many prayers, just specific requests I had about the birth and postpartum. Yeah, he's just been so good to us, and we're so thankful. But yeah, thank you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.